Hi, I'm Paul Seal from codeshare.co.uk. I'm just doing a quick video today, doing a live coding video. I've had a request from somebody who follows my YouTube channel. He wanted me to do a blog feed, like RSS XML feed for an Umbraco site. So I've created a post and I've just published it today. So the post is simple Umbraco RSS XML feed example. And in this, I've basically given you all the code that you need to get off the ground. And then in this, you can just edit the text at the top here to make it relevant to your site or blog or newsfeed or whatever you want it to be for. So I'm just going to show you how you can take this and how to implement it, just to fill in the gaps. Sometimes you see these sort of posts, you don't get the missing information of like, how do I create the content item, where do I put the template, things like that. So I've made some assumptions in the post that you know how to do it, but if you don't, then let's do it in this video now. So you can follow along with the video and do it yourself. And even if after this video and the post you're still stuck, then feel free to put a comment either on the video or on the post, and I'll reply to you and try and help you out where I can. So I've done a video before on showing you how to install Umbraco. So the environment I'm using is the install that I did then. I'm just carrying on from that to add extra things to it, and that's what I do on my videos. I try and add extras using the same install that we all used when we set this up before. So let's go to the blog post then, just have a look. So really, we just got to copy all this into a template, and then we're going to put it onto the site. So just so you can see what my feed looks like on my website, which uses this, if I go to codeshare.co.uk/feed, you can see I've got my blog feed, and it's got all my posts and the dates they were published and things like that, and a bit of a preview of the article on each one. So that's what we're actually going to create today. And then there are feed readers out there like Feedly, what have you, and they look at this information and present it nicely on the page to the user. Okay, so let's go back to my post. Right, what do I need to do? I just need to copy this, literally the whole thing. I can just copy it, and then inside Umbraco, I'm just going to create a new document type, and I'm going to do it without a template, because this is the way I always do it. I create the document type without a template, set that up first, then I create a template with the name I want to give it, then I go back into the document type and I relate the template to the one that I just created. So I'm just going to call this blog RSS, pick an icon for it, I don't really care on this, it can be anything, and then I can't pick a template for it because I haven't got one, so go back to the design tab. I don't really need any properties on it. You could take what I've done and add properties, and instead of it being hard coded into the template, you could read from the content page and use the properties to fill those in. You can do that if you like, but I'm not doing that on mine, just for this simple example. So I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to go to templates, and I'm just going to create one at the same level as master, and I'm just going to call this RSS. Or no, I'll call it feed template, actually, just so it doesn't get confused there's something with Umbraco where I can't remember the name of it, but I've got a blog post about it, and basically if you put in the homepage URL slash and then a template name, it will actually load the homepage with the template from whatever the template name was, if you got it correct. So if you had a contact template. So that's why I didn't want to do feed as the name of this template, just in case I get confused and I haven't really got a content item and it's just loading the home page and things like that. Anyway, probably too much information. I'm just going to create this called feed template. And it's just the basic stuff that it gives you. So now I'm going to paste in what I had from my article. And then I'm going to choose save. Now, let me just explain what's in this. So we've got up here So this is about my blog. So this is, I can change this to basic Umbraco site. So that's the feed title and the feed description, so just a bit more info. So basic Umbraco site, this is an example. Feed. Create a name, I'll leave that as that, and web development, that's fine. Right, so what we do need to make sure we're doing correctly is these. So we've got the home, let me just open it out for you. So we've got the document type aliases that we do need to get correct. So these were set up for on my site, but they might not be the same for the default site that you get when you install the Fano site starter kit. So if I right click on settings and open in a new tab, we can go to document types, and the first one we want to look for is home, and we're looking over here at what the document type alias is. So we need to pay attention to the uppercase and lowercase, things like that. So if we click on this padlock, we can get that selected, and I can use that in here. So I need the home to be like that, so this will find the home page. Further down it uses that. I also need to know the parent page for the blog posts. So if I've just hit save on that, by the way. So if I find the parent page for the blog post, so let's have a look. So we've got blog overview. So I need the document type for that. Blog post repository, they've got it as. So if I just click on that padlock twice again, I can copy that. Be careful never to edit these afterwards if you've already got content created using them, because you'll be in a world of pain. So don't do that. You might be safer just to type these in, but anyway, flicking back over to, oh no, I've gone off the tab. Right, it's a good job I saved it, wasn't it? Let me go back to my feed template. So I did save after those changes. Right, so I've got home already correct now. Blog post repository, I'll do save again just in case I'm stupid and go off it again. Next one is blog post. So I need to get the blog post, and that is capital B and post. So not far off with what mine is. Blog post like that. Save. Does it have a title alias? Let's have a look. No, doesn't seem to. And does it inherit it from anything? No. So what we probably use for that is the name. So if we go to this, and where it says title property alias, we could probably skip this and go straight to using just name. So let's look for the use of title property alias. So here we go, article title property alias. And what this is doing here is it's looking if you've got that, and if you haven't, then just use the name. So what I'm going to do instead is just use the name. So I'm going to delete the bit that checks for the property, article property title alias, if that's what it's called. I'm going to hit save again. So what's left to fill out? So we've got these three done. I've sorted out the title, so that can go. Then I've got an article date on mine. Does this have a date? No, it doesn't have a date. So what we can do is use the created date, I think it is. Oh, I might get that wrong. Well, we'll give it a go anyway. One thing that is quite good actually, instead of doing it in here, we should really be doing it in Visual Studio. So if I refresh this, we'll see that this feed template has come up. I'll include it so we can edit it and get the full IntelliSense. So where we had, which one is it on? So we had the name, and we filled that in there. That was it. Right, blog post date, that was it. So it doesn't look like Umbraco in their default blog post it's got a blog post date. So you could add one on, and if you've already got one, use the alias for that. But what probably is best to do in this scenario is just use the created date for the article. So we can go into Visual Studio, and you'll see that I'm using the update date already in the last build date. So you see update date. So all we really need to do there, where it needs article date property alias, let's find that. So I think it uses it in a few places. Yeah. So we're going to replace this, and I'm going to be brave and do it live. Yep. So I'm just going to replace x dot create date. Yeah, create date. That's what it's called. So again, let's find the next instance of that. Yeah. So instead of getting the value of the article date property value, I'm just going to replace it with create date. Any more? So I can get rid of it from there. Any more? Yes, we've got that. Ooh. So I might just have to order by. Can I use link here? Yes. Create date. I might do order by descending. Does that work? Please say it works. Yes. Alright, that works. So I've swapped that out now, so that wasn't relevant to this sample site. It doesn't have an article date, so we just may as well use the created date. It's the same thing. The rest of it looks like it should be relevant. If I show you what the code is doing, so it finds the home page, then it finds the parent page of the blog posts, then it gets all of the blog posts in the feed items, then it gets the latest updated date to use for the last build date, it gets the URL from the home page, and it just gets the URL with the domain, and it gets the feed URL from the current page. So obviously this template is being used on a feed page. So that does that. So we've edited that. So I'm quite happy with that. So now I'll go back to Umbraco. Got my document type for the blog RSS. Did I call it a blog RSS? Yes, I did, yeah. We need to make sure that that can sit underneath the home page. So we go to permissions, click on add child, and we go to blog RSS and then save. So now we're allowed to create that content items of that type underneath home. So let's click on home, blog RSS, and I'm just going to call this feed because I want people to be able to go to the website /feed. So I'll save and publish that, and hopefully there'll be no errors. So it's published. Let's see if it works. No, my luck, doing a live video, it's not going to work. New. Right, so we need to check what the template is. Right, we don't have a template set up. So let's go to the document type, look for the template that we just created. So feed template, click on save, and go back to feed and refresh. It still doesn't like it. The reason it doesn't like it is because I didn't go to the content item and repick the template. So go back into content, feed template, save and publish. Now we'll try again. And I'm probably going to get errors. Right, got errors. So this doesn't use the content grid. So that means, I know what that is. So on the blog post, if we go to blog post, yeah, it's a bit lousy. It's not really a blog, is it? It's not really a blog post. So we've got introduction and content. So it has got a content grid, alright, I'll give it that. Apologies. Well, what we can do is we can get it to use this. So that's probably the best thing to do, just get it to use the introduction. So if we go to the blog post, and then we look at the introduction, so the property alias for this is just lowercase introduction. So we need to use that in the RSS feed. So we go to templates, and then I go to feed template, and where it's got this article description, instead of that, I'm going to replace all of this where it's getting the content grid, and I'm going to get it to use the property value. So I think it was, well, actually I'm not going to do it in the web again, it's better in here. So where was it? Oh yes, here. So like we do up here where we get property value, because it's an I publish content. Do I use that get property value, or have I just made that up? I think I could have made it up. I do make things up. I'll just do it. So article description equals, come on, delete. Let's delete this. Let's delete. So it's going to be item.get property value as a string, open brackets, the name of it. Oh, it wasn't create date, it was introduction. Right, there we have it. Save that. If we're going to be consistent, we'll probably want to put that up here as well. Property, so introduction property alias. Sorry if I'm sticking my tongue out while I type. It's a bit embarrassing really. Shouldn't have said anything you probably didn't notice. I bet the microphone's not on, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Have I got anyone talking in the chat? Yeah. Hi Miles. Didn't realise he was watching. He's in the other room. Right, so I think I've done that. And I just need to use that constant in here. It's not worked. Where is it? Introduction property alias. Right. So fingers crossed. Yes, it's worked. It's got the feed. So it's pulling through the title that I gave it of the feed. It's got the URL of the feed and the blog page where it's coming from. It's got the basic Umbraco site. And then it's going to just list through all the items in there. So the tall trees have deep roots. So let's just have a look on the site, just so I'm not cheating, just show you. Just wait for it to load. So when this does load, we're going to be able to go to the blog section and we'll see, oh, I've got my GA tracking thing that I've been working on. Here we go, tall trees have deep roots. Let's just check what that says. So that was done on Monday the 3rd of October. Yeah, Monday the 3rd of October. Yeah, so it's all working. So now you know how to set that feed up, you know how to get over some errors that I had when creating it and applying it to a different site. As I say, it's alright copying it from someone else's example, but it's never relevant to your scenario. So hopefully that's shown you how you can get past some of the hurdles. I hope you like the video. If you do, please hit like and also subscribe, and I'll try and make more videos as well. If you've got any requests like my friend Ancor did, I hope I've said his name right, sorry if I haven't, then please send them through and I'll try to do a video about it, or a blog post at least, so I can help you out. And as I say, just comment and I'll usually reply straight away. Alright, take care.